we're gonna learn how to make this ring. Yes, it's been a minute since I wore a hat. I don't know why today I woke up and said, I'm gonna wear a hat. But here we are. Hi, my name is Marie. I like to make things and I like to turn around and show you how I made those things. Welcome to my channel. Hi, if you guys like to learn how to do anything crafty but in a weird way, then subscribe. So you guys, so today we're gonna learn how to make this ring. Isn't it beautiful? Eee! So what kind of supplies would we need for this project? We will need these supplies. Oh, well, you can't see them all. Goodness gracious. Let's start with the wire first, okay? The wire we're gonna need is the 16 gauge copper wire. Now with the 16 gauge copper wire, we're gonna make the bottom ring part. To make the rose part, we're gonna be using 22 gauge copper wire. Okay, so I got my mandrel over here and I have my assortment of tools. The most important out of them is the flush cutter. Oh, we're still doing this. And the loopers. These are the most important ones you're gonna need out of that. Then I have these as an added benefit. Look at these guys, little tiny pinchers. I like to call them my tiny pinchers, but we'll put them in the description box below with the other supplies, okay? I found it easier to, instead of using a ruler, I'm going to use this seamstress measuring tape to measure out our wire. First, we are going to work on the actual ring part. So we need our ring mandrel for that. So grabbing our handy dandy loopers, I'm going to do a little loop. Start with a loop and want to have it as straight as possible. Kind of like this, okay? I'm going to pull out some here. I'm going to locate the size that I want on my ring mandrel, so it'll be like right here. So now we're going to take those loops because we want to make sure the loop is flat. Just like in this ring on this side, it's flat on the side. So we're going to replicate that and do the same thing, but we're going to put it on our size of our our size on the ring mandrel, okay? So I'm wrapping this around. So as you look at the construction of this ring, you see how there's a little void area because that's where your finger is going to go. And then on top of that will be where the rose is going to lie flatly, okay? The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create a loop on the other side and try to keep it as even as possible. So I want to have the loop going the same direction. So I'm just going to eye this up real quick. From this angle, it looks like it's about right here, and just create my loop, wrapping totally around the pliers. Boop. Okay, then I'm going to cut that. I want this loop to be really tight, so I'm going to tighten this up a smidgel. Okay, so the loop is tightened, so let me get my pliers out. I had to tighten it that way because this 16 gauge wire is very tough, and that's the reason why I chose this wire, is because it has the toughest properties. And then I'm going to tighten this up. That's why you want to use 16 gauge for your actual ring part, because from there it's going to keep its shape. As soon as I like squish this down, it's going to keep its shape. All right, so there we have it. Okay, so now we can set aside our 16 gauge wire and grab our 22 gauge wire. Now, let's measure out 27 inches of 22 gauge copper wire. Key. And there we go. I got 27 here, and I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to cut it right there. Okay. Set that aside. Don't need that anymore. So now we have our wire here. So I'm going to grab both ends and put them together like so. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my loopers here And I'm just gonna find a loop on these pliers, just put my wire on there. Now, this part really isn't important to know which size of your loop, because this loop is going to be hidden. This loop is only used to hold the flower in place, okay? So it's really not that important. So I'm just trying to make it as, you know, just make it small so it wouldn't be too hard to hide. So I'm wrapping this around my pliers, around that one first loop here, okay? Then I'm going to take both these ends and I'm going to twist it like so. And I twist it about 2 or 3 times, but not too many times. Not too many times, okay? So then I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to twist it in towards the pliers, towards the middle there. And then I'm going to take my little loopy thing and I'm just going to press it down because I want it to be flat. Flat enough so that I can fit it between my pliers here and just press down on it and make it even more flat. But the loop is still on my loopers here. So then from here, this is just a way to be able to hold it in place so that it's not moving all over the place with the little loop. So we're just using that loop to hold our little start of our rows. So we're starting from the middle and we're going to twist our way out. So using our pliers, holding it steady, but not too much that you hurt yourself, because I do not want you to hurt yourself, okay? So I'm just holding it like this and I have the loop, you see it right in, see it in here? So the loop is in here like this. We're going to be working like twirling it around so that it goes in between the plier opening right here. So I'm going to pull this up and go in between the pliers. And what that's doing is getting it close to our loop here, okay? So we got that going. So now I'm going to use these different terms so that you understand what I'm saying to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lazy twist. When you twist the 2 strands together, I twisted it twice. Then I'm going to do a twirl, which is pressing it around to our rows. Then when you go to a point where you can't twist it anymore, take it off the pliers, twirl it so that it gives yourself some more room, put the loop back on, press down, and then you're going to give it another twirl. So basically that's what you're doing. You're just doing this motion, you're twisting it. Make sure you give your wire a lazy twist and make sure you go in the same way that you twist it before. You don't want those twists to be often. You see how I'm twirling it? Take it off the pliers, start again. Do a twist, twirl it, and when you're twirling it, like I said, you're going in between the plier opening right here, just to get it real close like. And sometimes I pull it off the pliers, and if I look at it, I'm like, oh, I want that to be a little bit tighter. So you just take these little pincher things. I love these things. Oh my gosh. And you just push it in so that it's tighter around your rows. Tight around your rose center. There you go. Got it. Because I was like, it's looking kind of big. Okay, so I'm going to put it back on my pliers so that I gave myself enough room to be able to twist in this direction. Okay, so now I'm going to give it another twist and twirl. And pull it as tight as you can into the pliers. And sometimes I like to give it a lazy twist before I pull it off my pliers. Your wires will get tangled, but it's okay. It's very easy to take it off. So then take it off your pliers, pivot, put it back on your pliers. You already gave it a little twist, and then you're going to twirl it and pull it tight close. And you're just repeating that all the way around. Give it a little lazy twist, as I call it, and then pulling it between my pliers. Okay. And I'm going to give it a little twist before I take it off my pliers. What that is doing is giving your little leafy petals on your flower more definition. So then I'm going to twirl it tight, take it off my pliers, give it a lazy twist, twirl it tight. So at this point, it's getting big enough that I can pull it off my pliers. And so you can start shaping it how you want it to look. Giving it so much definition, you can twirl it a little bit tighter in the middle. And this is what we have so far. So according to the ring that I already have, I got a little bit more to go before it's this size, okay? So then now you're going to be placing it flat in between your fingers like this. Then you're going to do a little lazy twist, and you can twirl it even better. Your fingers are just replacing the tongs of your pliers here. So, mope. And then I'm just doing a lazy twist, and I'm just moving my hand, twisting it, and then moving my hand. You see the motion I'm doing? All right. So I got myself a nice little rose going on here. Okay, I like that face of it. Looks really good. All right, so I don't want to do too much, then it would leave me with less wire. So now here's the part where it gets a little dicey, okay? I'm going to try to secure these wires so that it doesn't distort the shape of the rose later on. So using these pliers, my nylon straighteners, I'm going to straighten out this wire as much as I can because I don't want to have any kinks in it that will cause it to break. Okay, so now we have this type of shape here. Okay, if you remember the little loop that we had in the middle, it's still there. So I want to take this wire, both of these two wires, I want to take them and just tie them down so that they're not moving all over the place. And what that does is secures the rose that we just made. Okay, so I'm going to take this end. All I'm doing is just using the loop to secure it, the wire. So I got one that went through the loop. I'm going to take this one, work it around because I want to have the wires going in opposite directions. So I went in this way, and now I'm going to take this wire and go this way. Okay, so I'm in there. Now I'm going to pull it through. And you can grab some pliers to pull it too. And what that does, now I can do whatever I want to. It's not going to mess up the shape of my rose unless I take my pliers and mess it up by mistake. But yeah, just keeping my little rose shape. Look at that. And this is the back that has the loop with the two wires going through it. So we're going to grab the ring we just made. We're going to take and we're going to open up one side. Okay. And then we're going to slip the wire into the side that is closed already, or closed still. We're going to slip that in and slip our rose on there. Then the open end, I'm just going to slip the wire that we're working on through there. Okay, so we have about half our ring. Okay, now I'm going to take my little pinchy pliers and I'm going to close this loop on the side of my 16 gauge wire ring. So I'm going to close it so that this wire cannot come out of it. So there you go. So it's on there. It's just an easier way to get the wire on without bending it and making more of a mess than you need to. Then I'm going to take my fingers, I'm going to hold the rose, and the ring part is just flopping there. So I don't really need to worry about that right now. So I'm going to push these wires in towards the middle, and then I'm going to cross them. But I want to make sure I'm not messing up my rows as I do it. So I got the wires, they're crossed. One's coming in this side, going out this way. One's coming in this side, going out that way. Then at the area which is in the middle of the ring, okay, in the middle of our rows, I'm just going to feel with my finger the middle of my rows, and I'm just going to twist it. That's kind of securing it to this ring, okay? So we have it, should look like this. It looks a mess, but hear me out here, okay? Just hear me out. All right, so we have it twisted in the middle there. You see, looks a mess, but hear me out. It's right in the middle of our rows. So we got a beautiful flower rose on the bottom here, and now we have a jumbled mess on the top, because that's what we want, okay? So we have it twisted. Now I'm going to get real centrally close to you. I'm going to bend this down, okay? So now I have it bent down. Now it's up to you whether you want to take some pliers to hold it in place or if you want to use your finger, but for me, I want to use my finger. So I'm going to twist this around the middle and start twirling and making my little rose. But I want to make sure that I'm not distorting the rose on the other side. So I'm like lightly holding it and twisting it. Give your two wires a little twirl or a little twist to give it some personality. And then we're going to keep twirling it. Keep twirling it and make sure to keep the twirlies in the middle of our rows. Just make sure you're starting from the middle. You're not going off to the side. Give it a little twist and then twirl it. So I feel like it's going off to the side a little bit more, and I don't like that. So I'm going to take my little pinchy pliers and move it very slightly towards the middle and making sure that I'm not messing with the rose that's on the bottom half. So now I'm going to continue twirling it. Give it a little twirl. And then there you go. Start spiraling, keep spiraling. Twist it. Twirl it. Okay. Give it one more twist. Twirl it. Twist. And then you can start feeling it where it starts to get towards the edge. You start feeling it. Just make sure you're using all your senses, because sometimes the wire can look like it's all the same. Give it a little twist and then twirl it. Give it a little twist and then twirl it. Okay. We're starting to get a rose on this side too. Twist and then twirl it. So now we're getting towards the end. We have these little teeny wires. I don't like to cut those where they are. I like to take my little pinchy pliers and I'm going to take them and push them down in the middle in between the two flowers. If you can get it down in there, get it in there. Okay. Okay. And make sure you're using your, just like I said before, using all your senses and putting your finger up there just to see if it's not sticking up still. And it is sticking up. So I'm going to push that down in there. There we go. Perfect. Now that's one side. So now I want to do the other wire and push the end in. Okay, sticking out here, so I make sure that I'm pushing it back in. And there you have it. Don't ever put your ring on without sizing it first. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it on my ring mandrel. And what that does, it gives it back its rounded shape. And it gives it more definition, but also making it more uniform. If that makes any sense, it probably doesn't. So I'm just using my fingers and fingernails and I'm just pushing it down, because that basically is just going to give it its shape. You can use your pliers if it's a little too tight, And so would you look at that? We made it bigger than it needed to be, yet we still got it to fit. That's crazy. So I want to fix my rose a little bit because my rose got a little wonky with my fingernails. Okay. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So here we go. This is what we're looking at here. Now I can put it on my finger. Look at that. Yes. All right, so there we go. Yay. So you guys, don't try to act like you didn't notice that I had one earring in for this entire video. Yes. Because it's aggravating when you have like all this hair and then you try to put an earring in there and it's like you can't even see it anyway, so what's the point of even putting it on, right? So I put one earring in. Sue me. But I don't have no money, don't sue me. Look at my Carlisle clay earring. Yes. Love it so much. You guys really should check her out. Here's the website. Okay, check it out, check it out, check it out. So anyway, you guys, we made a rose ring today. I'm very happy with the results. I hope you guys are happy with the results. And if you can, if you go and you said, I created this ring, make sure to either email it to me. I got my email is down in the description box below. I have my Instagram where you want to post it and show your friends, but then tag me and be like, look what I made. I'll be so happy. I would love to see that. Okay. Oh, don't forget, every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a live where I basically practice with you guys what I'm going to be doing for my next videos. For some reason, I really like that concept. I really like doing that with you guys, and you guys give me so many good, awesome suggestions. And so that's why half of these videos that are coming out right now, they're all because of you. It's all your guys' suggestions that you gave me, and I appreciate it. Yay. So, like I said, I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Bye.